of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And today we're going to review 4 interesting laws from this book. Laws 39, 40, 41, and 42. All right, let's get straight into it. Law 39 says, stir up waters to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. If you noticed, the thumbnail says don't get angry, or they'll use anger to control you. So you need to beware. For those of you who get angry a lot, you really need to be careful. Anger is a tool that the powerful use to control you. So you mustn't get angry anyhow. Let me continue reading this. You must always stay calm and objective. Good to see you too. You're welcome on board. But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Find the chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them, and you hold the strings. You can use anger to manipulate your enemies, but you must be very careful not to get angry anyhow. Even the Bible says not. That means that you must be careful how you get angry. There is a way you can get angry without throwing caution to the wind, without throwing tantrum endlessly, without losing your respect and your power. Angry people usually end up looking ridiculous, for their response seems out of proportion to what occasioned it. Sometimes you'll be wondering, is it just what I said? Why did it flare up like that? No, most times there is another deep-rooted hurt that this person is dealing with. That is why when somebody, gets angry, maybe by what you say or what you do, and you feel like they have blown it out of proportion, it is most times not about you. So don't take it personally. People who get angry take things too seriously. They exaggerate their hurt, they exaggerate their insults, they exaggerate their feelings, they exaggerate things, they blow them out of proportion. They take anger personally. More comical is their belief that their outburst signals power, but it is not true. When you always get angry, people can give you what you want just for the sake of peace, but you lose respect, you lose your power every time you get angry. But if you are playing the game of power, it is something that you must know how to play very well, using anger to unrattle the enemy while you remain calm. So don't lose your calm, right? You need to change your perspective. You need to realize that nothing in the social realm and in the game of power is personal. That is why you see politicians who come out to lambast one another, to say all kinds of hurtful things, against one another, to do all kinds of things. And the gullible public will be taking sides. They will even get personal. Some people will have high blood pressure over the actions of politicians. But what happens? You see these politicians in some closed door meetings or at some functions shaking one another, hugging one another, because they know that they are playing the games of power. They don't take anything personally. So you too must learn not to be taking things personally. If a person explodes with anger at you and it seems out of proportion to what you did to them, you must remind yourself that it is not exclusively directed at you. Do not be so vain. The cause of that anger, the cause of that outburst may be tied to something bigger than what you did. They may just use what you did as an avenue to lash out at you. So don't take anything personally. This shift of perspective will let you play the game of power with more clarity and energy. Instead of overreacting and becoming ensnared in people's emotions, you will turn their loss of control to your advantage. In fact, there are times that people would expect you to flare up. When you remain calm, they become embarrassed. Like, oh, of all we've said, this guy did not even react. There was somebody that used this to win a war during an important battle in the War of the Three Kingdoms in the 3rd century AD. Advisors to the commander Cao Cao discovered that some generals in his army were conniving with the other camp, conniving with the other camp, and so they brought a document to prove this. What did this guy do? The commander Cao Cao, what did he do? He immediately collected that document and burnt it and forget about the matter because they were right in the middle of a battle. So they wanted to use that to unrattle him. Imagine if he was not wise and he decided to react immediately. They would have lost that battle. But he collected the document, burnt it. They continued to fight the battle. In his mind, he knew that he was going to deal with these generals later for betraying his loyalty. But he did not do it right in the middle of that battle. He just burnt the document. So we all should also learn to adopt this strategy. It is not every time that you react to issues, react to situations. You think that you're gaining power that way. You think that you're gaining control that way. But you're actually losing power. Anger only cuts off our options, and the powerful thrive without options. Once you train yourself not to take matters personally and to control your emotional responses, you would have placed yourself in a position of tremendous power. Now you can play with emotional responses of other people. But remember, if you know how to play the game of power, you can stir up anger in the camp of the enemies while you remain calm, while you look from afar. It's a game. Right. In the face of a hot-headed enemy, finally, an excellent response is no response. There are some enemies that you don't even respond to at all. There are some that you flee from. There are some that must not even see your outburst of anger. You must do away with this childishness of reacting and overreacting, of having an outburst every now and then. It is childish. You must always learn to maintain your dignity and your composure. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. All right, now let's go to law 40. It says, despise the free lunch. There are so many people who like free things. They think that, it's so free, let's take it and all of that. But those who understand the game of power know that you must despise anything that is free. You must not over negotiate, and you must always be ready to pay the price in full. This is a strategy that the powerful use so that they are not under obligation to anybody. You don't come back later to demand the kind of favor that they don't want to do for you just because you have shown them favor before. So what is the price of this thing? And they know that price does not only talk about money. Price is not just about money. When they are negotiating price, when they're talking about price, time, they are thinking of time. They are thinking in terms of their dignity. They are thinking in terms of the future. They are thinking long term, not just the free things that you can get now. What is offered for free is dangerous. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. What has worth is worth paying for. By paying your own way, you stay clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. It is also often wise to pay the price in full. There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money and keep it circulating, for generosity is a sign and a magnet for power. So this is in two folds. Beware of things that are so free. It is not every free thing that you must jump at. There may be a hidden obligation somewhere. It may not haunt you now. It may haunt you later. People may remind you of the favors they have done for you, and they expect you to pay through your nose. After all, we did this for you. Now it is time to pay. You will feel so obligated to pay back. In the realm of power, everything must be judged by its cost, and everything has a price. What is offered for free at a bargain rate often comes with psychological price tag, complicated feelings of obligations, compromises with quality, insecurity, and so on. And the second part that I was going to say is that if you now want to play the game of power, learn to be generous. When you are generous, you can make people to feel obligated towards you. You can make people to dance to your tune when you are generous with your money, right? So if you are the one playing the game of power, you can be open and flexible with money. And this teaches the value of strategic generosity. You know what you are driving at. You know what you are giving out, what you are giving. You're not just giving aimlessly. But you understanding the game of power will also help you to be aware of free things. Anytime somebody comes to you, this thing is free, take it. They are kind of stealing your control. They are buying your control. They are buying your obligation. And a time will come, you will not even have a say anymore because you've been bought over. Now, you need to be aware of this kind of people, the greedy fish. These people are so greedy. Like, when it comes to money, they are so cold. They have no human feeling. You have to be aware of them. beware of them. They can do anything at all to take you out, to yank you off, as long as money is involved. They are going to lure you with money. It is a bait. Don't always go for their free things. Then you should always beware of the bargain demon. Powerful people judge everything by what it costs, not just in money, but in time, dignity, and peace of mind. So be very careful. If you are always bargaining, you are always negotiating, you negotiate everything. There are things that you negotiate quite all right, no problems about that, but it is not everything. There are some things that you will negotiate to the last couple. They will sell it for you, but you won't know that they are cheating you. And if you have the spirit that is always negotiating and bargaining everything, sometimes you are buying something that is inferior, of low quality, that you have to change every now and again, and it is now more expensive than when you buy something of high quality. So this is another dangerous thing to do or to be. Then you should be careful of the sadists. Financial sadists play vicious power games with money as a way of asserting their power. These ones will want to torture you. They are the type of people that will owe you money, but they will say there is no money. They will tell you that I'm sending your money next week. I'm sending it. They have the money, but they just want to punish you for your own money. This kind of people will even punish you for selling something to them at a price they consider to be too high. You are not cheating them, you are not ripping them off. It is just their own perspective that you've cheated them. And so they want to punish you for it. They want to oppress you just because they are buying from you. They want to make you feel sad, just as the name implies. The sad is, you will feel sad if you have any money transactions with them. If you get involved in any kind of with this kind of a person, it is better you even concede to loss. It is better you even take your financial loss in good faith than to keep pursuing them, because they will really make you go through hell on top of your own money. You must then also be careful of the indiscriminate giver. Anybody that is giving you money, how normally many people are generous, in the right proportion, like strategically, creatively, not just throwing money around. The people can give you money because they feel like, because they are kind. But if you see anybody that is just throwing money around, they're just giving you money, you've done nothing to deserve it, every time they are overshowering you with money, it is because they need something. And you need to be careful. You need to know the motive why they're behind what they are doing. Indiscriminate givers are generous because they want to be loved and admired. So these ones can drain you emotionally. They want something from you in return, and if you are not careful, you are going to pay a lot for it. They will never let you breathe. You will pay back. Now let's go to law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. If you must step into a great man's shoes, make sure that you are creative. Make sure that you reinvent your own power, your own will. People don't see you as carrying on with what that great man has done. The expectations may be high, but you need to be courageous, not to be lazy, not to just fit into the shoes of this great man and continue with what he had done blindly. So what happens first always appears better and more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or have a famous parent, you will have to accomplish double their achievements to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadows or stuck in a past not of your own making. Establish your own name and identity by changing course. Slay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining in your own way. You don't have to blindly continue what somebody else has done. Just because you stepped into the shoes of your rich parents or your outstanding boss does not mean you should not be creative in your own thinking. Now, don't let people see you as, oh, he's doing what the former boss did. Okay, she's doing what our mother used to do. Okay, they don't say anything unique about you. You are unique. So you really need to come out of your shell. You really need to be original. And the simplest way to escape the shadow of the past is simply to belittle it, playing on the timeless antagonism between the old generation and the new generation. People who want to compare you, they will expect you to do what this person has done verbatim. You need to be courageous. There are some people who step into positions of power. They are doing what their predecessors did verbatim. ABC, the way they followed the rules, the way they did everything, you know, their legacy and all of that. And at the end of the day, when you leave that position, people cannot remember you for one thing that you did differently. There are some people who step into the shoes of their rich parents. Now they become so lazy, they become so uncreative, no innovation at all. They're just like dummies, carrying on the legacy that has been established for them. They just fit in perfectly. Nothing makes them outstanding. The author says that sometimes it is even better for you to return to square one and start all over again than to grow fat and lazy with prosperity. Did you get that? Yes. All right. Let's go to the last one for today. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Trouble can often be traced to a single strong individual who is referred to as the stirrer. They stir up things, they stir up trouble, the arrogance on the king, you know, on the link, the poisoner of goodwill. If you allow such people room to operate, others will succumb to their influence. Do not wait for the troubles they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating or banishing them. Strike at the source of the trouble, and the sheep will scatter. This is self-explanatory, right? There is always somebody that can be referred to as a shepherd leading a particular group. This person is stirring trouble. This person is, you know, bringing up all kinds of things against you, and you sense trouble. Don't negotiate with this kind of person. Separate this kind of person from the group, and the sheep will scatter. There are times that you have a good intention, you want to do something good, right? But then a group is forming somewhere, and they have a leader, they have somebody that is influencing them, that is stirring up things. Sometimes this person will hide. The stirrers usually hide. They know that once you bring them out, they have lost their power. So what you're going to do is to neutralize their power by banishing them. Don't negotiate with them. Remove them from the crowd. And what happens? The people that they have influence over will scatter. That way, you can live your life in peace. You can carry on what you want to carry. In your organization, maybe you have a company, you see that people are already ganging up. Look for the person spearheading that group. Look for the steerer. Look for the person that wants to jeopardize all your efforts and banish the individual. Once they don't have support anymore, they are gone. Once the followers also see that their leader is no more, they will scatter. Right. Okay, so that is it for today. Yeah, tomorrow we're almost done. We have 6 more laws to review from the 48 laws of power. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining on this review tonight. Please don't forget to like this video, share your comments with me, and please subscribe to this channel in case you are yet to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel I inspire you to live intentionally. I'll come your way again tomorrow by God's grace as we review the next 4 laws. Until then, be intentional. Bye. Thank you.